Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Today, we're going to examine, I think she's a relationship coach, but like a lot of relationship coaches in today's environment, a lot of these women are single, but a lot of them are coping with this idea that they're single in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they're trying to give other people advice on how not to be single or how to handle relationships. Now, I have my reservations. I have not seen many good single relationship coaches. You know, it's like a broke person telling me how I should make money. Now, if they were single and now in a successful relationship and they've done that a few times and then they can tell you the good and bad like I am doing. I don't consider myself a relationship coach, by the way. Just so let's get that out of your head. I'm just someone that's using my common sense and my life experiences based on the good and bad shit that I've done. Because I have screwed up some relationships. I've been through divorces, but I'm now doing quite well in my current relationship for over 20 years. And I can tell you it's not a walk in the park, but in essence, I get a lot more good out of it than the negative stuff. And one thing is very clear, my wife is obviously in the same spot. Otherwise, like most women, she would have packed up and left a long time ago. So I say this because I want to examine this particular woman because she goes into a whole plethora of reasons why she's still single and why people are still single. And like a lot of these coaches, to me, it just seems like she wants people to come into an acceptance of being single. I don't believe that should be the case. She also looked at examining what went wrong in her relationships. And of course, this is prominent in a lot of other women's relationships because they left it till too late. But I don't want to preface this too much. I want us to get straight into the video because I want to break down what she's saying and question some of the things that she's actually pointing out. In other words, we're going to dig deep. All right, just one video today, my friends. We're going to just examine this one woman. It's going to be a short one, but hopefully you can learn a lot from it as well. That goes for you ladies. All right. Now, her name is Sybil, and she's a relationship coach. I found her over on TikTok. She seems to be trending lately because I saw her in another channel as well. Now, this is the title of her video is For My Anxious, Single, and Yearning Friends.
Being single when you don't want to be single is a special kind of prison that you actually did nothing to deserve to be in. It comes with a kind of ache that used to be a really, really intense pain, but now it's just a dull ache that you feel almost every single day that you learn to sort of live with and expect or accept. But then there are days where you are with people, couples, surrounded by seemingly healthy relationships, and you wonder, why not you?
FOMO, fear of missing out. This is a big issue that a lot of people have a problem with. They did not position themselves to be in a position that these other people are in, the ones that she's now jealous of or aware of, would like to be in the position of those people. She didn't position herself in those areas. And she used a word that I bloody detest, deserve. You're going to hear it a few times in her speech. I'm going to get into it more as we get further in. But right now, we're just going to address the point is now because she's not in this position, she's looking at her friends and relatives who are in this position that she'd like to be in. And she's questioning, where the hell did she go wrong?
You've done all the work. You really try to see the best in people. You genuinely want to be in a relationship that is going to be life-giving, supportive, kind, open, and yet you are single. And you can't really pinpoint what exactly the reason for that is.
I can tell you in one simple word, compromise. That's it. I can tell you, relationships, my friend, it's all about compromise. One thing that I never hear relationship coaches talk about is the fact that what is a relationship? A relationship is literally this, and it's simple as this: serving another person, serving another individual. You serve me, I serve you. Boom. That's it. Nothing about what these relationship coaches talk about is what the woman is going to do for the man. It's all about what men can do for them and what they're missing and what they deserve. It's always about what they deserve. It drives me insane. service to others. That's what a relationship is. No one gets into a relationship to just keep giving, and not getting anything back. No one. They would be insane to do that. And if you saw my video on why you should not give your partner everything, you should go and check it out, because it's a problem. It has been studied scientifically. That's one of the reasons why many people leave partners who give them everything, or the other partner leaves because they've been drained dry. Doesn't work.
Did you do anything to deserve this? I know I ask myself this all the time. I'm 35 and single, and I've been single for many years now. And sometimes on my worst days, like today, after spending a week with my sisters and their amazing boyfriends, I wonder, what did I do to deserve this? What kind of mistakes did I make in my 20s that is forcing me now to live through this kind of loneliness? What could I have done better? Why did I waste my time on all these people who didn't value me?
I am sure, my dear, that you have had many eligible men come through your life in your 20s. Men that were awesome for you, but you stuck to Chad. You stuck to the bad boys, and you thought you had amazing amount of choices, and you had what you call the paradox of choice. You couldn't make a decision because there were so many choices, and you didn't put any effort into each and every relationship that you went into. The minute something went wrong in any of these relationships and they weren't given 100% to you, figured, I'm out. I could get it from another man. This idea that what one man won't do for you, another man will, is the biggest pile of crap that women have been served up. That's what keeping them single. Because a man should not give you everything. It is literally the death sentence of a relationship. I do not give my wife everything. She has to work. She has to earn. When she earns it, she appreciates it. When it's given to her, it gives her no real joy except for the first 1 or 2 days that she's had the thing. Someone who gets something doesn't appreciate it as much as if they work for it. That's basically what I'm saying.
Why did I waste years on my Mr. Big? Why couldn't I learn my lesson the first time? Why did I need to learn it the 20th, the 50th, the 100th, the 1000th? Why couldn't I have just figured myself out earlier? Why didn't I have parents who guided me early on in those crucial stages of early dating, so that when I was an adult, I just had more tools and more self-esteem?
Why can't you take some responsibility for your own BS and your own screw-ups? Why would it take you 20 times to make the same damn mistake? 20. That's you. Those are your words, okay? You should have learned after the second or third time. Don't keep picking the same guys. Find a good, solid guy. You have met the great men, the good men that were going to be with you until the end of your time. But you didn't want those guys. This is a typical story. Come on, my friend. You know the answer to this. If you're going to coach other people, you better know the answer to this. All right? But you got to take responsibility first. I would prefer to hear you say, I screwed up because I didn't realize that I was making these mistakes and not just finding a good guy. I would have given you props if you just said that. But even as a relationship coach, you can't take responsibility for yourself and your stupid actions when you were young. You got to blame it on your parents. You got to blame it on everybody else and how the universe, you didn't deserve this and why oh my. This is why I can't take relationship coaches, especially women, seriously. I can't do it.
Why did this have to happen to me? And sometimes there is no answer, and you're just supposed to sit with this pain and this ache, and you're just supposed to let it be what it is. A sign that you are a human being going through a journey, one that is filled with shame and comparison and days where you really just don't feel like you're good enough. And then you have people telling you, well, you shouldn't feel this way, and everything happens for a reason.
There's nothing worse than when I hear somebody say that. Everything happens for a reason. This is the ultimate lack of accountability and responsibility. Get out of jail card free. Everything happens for a reason. It's not my reason. It wasn't my responsibility. No way. No, I wasn't accountable for that. Everything happens for a reason. And I just want to pause here because I want to look at this from a critical thinking perspective. You need to ask yourself, when someone says everything happens for a reason, ask yourself, you got to break it down critically, because it irks me so much because I immediately say, yeah, everything happens for a reason. No matter what you do, something is going to happen. So saying that is like literally saying, yeah, there's oxygen in the air and I can breathe. Duh. Because whether you go left or whether you go right or you go down the middle, something is going to happen. Everything is going to happen for a reason. It's like it's a nonsensical situation. So you need to define, what do you mean by that? And so I want you to learn how to think critically when someone says this. And I want to break down 4 different ways that a person could be saying this. All right, I've written it down here. Anyway, specs. So if you want to take this from a critical thinking perspective, you need to analyze 3 things. You have to analyze the claim. Is the statement literal or is it metaphorical? Because people use these terms 2 ways. Some may mean it in a spiritual or a philosophical sense rather than a factual statement. I tend to look at everything from a factual perspective because I don't have this spiritual or religious gene. Okay, or philosophically, yes. So what I do is I explore the underlying beliefs. This phrase often reflects beliefs about faith, destiny, or a higher power. Asking questions about these beliefs can lead to deeper understanding. So that's usually what I have to do with people. I need to ask them, well, how do you mean by that? Do you mean that there's a higher power that is guiding the way you think or the way you live your life? Or are you in control of your own destiny? Me personally, I tend to think that everybody is responsible for their own destiny. However, there are outside forces, meaning other people, government, politics, the way people think, the weather. All of these things are influencing every single thing, every commercial, every instance that you interact with another person will influence your thought process, and it could be the ultimate outcome to the decision you make. If you want to call that a higher power, by all means, go right ahead. I just see the multiple amounts of influences that can occur. I don't lump that into one particular thing. I just understand life throws shit at you all the time. I evaluate the implications of those things influencing your life. The mere fact that you're listening to what I'm saying right now, when some of this information is sinking into your brain, you will never be the same thinker after you hear me say these words. You will now be thinking differently. So you understand everything happens for a reason. It's happening because now you're listening to me. That is the reason. But it could be now that the second you get up and switch to the next video, something else could happen that might influence your thoughts away from this. That's life. So does it suggest a predetermined plan, or is it a way of you finding meaning in this randomness of the world that we exist in? The 4th thing to do is to consider alternatives. Not everything may have a reason. Some events could be purely coincidental or due to human actions without deeper meaning. And that's where I tend to lean more on, because I have not been able to have proof of an external force outside of the universe. Because how the hell do I know what's outside of the universe if I have no knowledge of anything outside the universe? Get my point? Doesn't mean that it isn't there, but I have to suspend belief until I know that there's something outside our universe. So by applying these principles, you can thoughtfully engage with the idea and have a meaningful discussion with the person who holds this belief of everything happens for a reason. So I don't dismiss it. I just find it a lazy way of thinking when a person says, oh, everything happens for a reason, instead of evaluating why it happened. That's more important. Why did this happen? All right, let's continue back with this lady, Sybil.
And it'll happen when you least expect it. And it'll happen once you finally become the kind of person that truly, deeply loves themselves. And I want to tell you that although that all might be true, it's not what I want to hear right now. And it definitely doesn't make me feel better about the situation I'm in. Because even on the days where I feel like I'm doing amazing, I still wish I could share it with someone.
And you can. You just have to understand what you need or what you want is 2 different things. What you need is a good, solid man who is in his 50s, who would gladly scrape you up and have a great life with you. But no, you want a guy on your same age who has six figures, who has a six pack, who is 6 feet tall, and who has a trust fund. That's what you want. But what you need is a good older man who has knowledge, who's prepared to help you move through life. Yes, still pop out a few kids. At your age, 38, you might get 2. He might not want any, but you are a geriatric pregnancy. So what you need and what you want, my friend, are two totally different things. But you have to realize that you're not in a position where you can negotiate what you want. You better focus on what you need.
I still wish I could share it with someone really great. And then there's going to be people who tell you, well, it's great that you didn't meet anyone in your 20s because maybe you weren't really in a good place to meet someone great. You probably would be divorcing by now, and that would be a whole thing. But what if I was actually in a place where I got to meet someone really special?
You see how that works? You're going to go into the what ifs. What ifs? My friends, listen, when you start getting into the what ifs, you're literally just setting yourself up for self-destruction. It's a futile thought process because the what ifs it can be endless. What if I had made this turn on this day? What if I had given boyfriend number 3 a chance and not boyfriend number 4 that also went down the bad way? What if I had done the guy that I had dated back in high school? What if? And you can go into an endless possibilities of what if you do this to yourself. Focus on now. What can I do now? What can I do now that I did not do in the past? What have I learned new that should wake me up and realize if I did it now, I still have a chance to have happiness with a good man? That's how you should be thinking instead of trying to go back into the past, which you cannot change. What ifs are a waste of time, and all it does is stresses you out. Don't ever do that, my friends. Take it from an older guy. There's nothing more liberating than letting go of the past, embracing the now, and fantasizing about the future. Just reflect on the future, but focus on the now. What can I do now? What can I do now that I have learned from the past that would make sure that I have a better chance? The probability of having a future based on the knowledge I have now will make me have a better future.
What if my destiny could have been different? That I could have had the tools early on in my 20s when the dating pool was more filled with secure people and I had a higher chance of meeting someone really good for me. But I couldn't see it at the time because I was so wounded and filled with insecurities and running after avoidant men. What if I could have actually picked someone or been with someone really great? And I think that's the piece that I wish we just all could agree on is painful. Being single is painful, and you don't have to be in a great positive mood all the time about it.
Man, she's just playing the victim role. Why couldn't she just say, I learned a lot from in my 20s when I did pick the wrong men. Now I am smarter. Now I'm prepared to look for a man who is on my level, who would love me for me, who I can pour into, who I can contribute to his life and make him happier. None of that. I'm not hearing any of that. This is not a healed woman. This is still a wounded soul, my friends. And wounded people cannot coach people because she's freaking coaching from a place of being wounded. No, not someone I would recommend as a coach. Take my word for it, ladies. She isn't healed.
And you take the good with the bad. I enjoy that I have freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I love that I don't have anyone that, makes my day worse. But I also feel like I am sad that I don't have someone who can make my day better. And that's something that I am just learning to sit with while also trying to release the shame that I have with those voices that tell me, well, you're just not good enough and you didn't do the right things and you didn't have the right tools and you completely missed the boat.
This woman is a walking contradiction. Oh, God, man. Yeah, my dear, you need some help. You do need some help. Ladies, when you listen to women like this on the internet, you will not come out any better. Finding someone who will fit your life is very simple. You got to stop doing the things that you were doing that did not produce results. You need to stop that and start doing something completely different. Only then will you get different results. Number 2, stop expecting perfection from any one individual. All relationships are freaking hard. When you see your friends enjoying each other when they're in front of you, you don't see the shit that's happening behind the scenes. You're only seeing the best part because those friends are not prepared to show you the nasty parts of their relationship. You don't deserve that. Plus, they have respect for each other They're not going to show you that. That's their private business. They will go home and argue, make up, because that's the reality of relationship. They're not going to wake up every day and agree with each other. Hey, honey. No, that comes a lot later. You got to go through some shit first, iron out the kinks in your relationships, get used to each other's ways, methods, and quirks and habits and problems, and just accept those and realize that, they're just another human beings. He pointed out mine, I point out his. We can live with those. To hell with it. You look at the big picture. You have someone to share your life with. Have someone good. You have to remember the reasons why you married this person in the first place. So, and I can tell you, relationships without responsibility and accountability are doomed to fail. Listen, my friends, I think this ran a little bit longer than I expected it, but I hope you guys learned something from this, because I'm trying to really help a lot of the ladies get back into a good place where they can have better relationship. All right. So join the membership system, my friends. Go over to school and put in Ask an Older Man. You can ask to join from there, or you can just go to this link right below here or in the description section of this video. So until next time, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.